Emma James joins us from MediaWatch. Good evening to you. Starting in France with a strong reaction to public appearances by the man who radicalised the Kouachi brothers. Now, to remind people, they are, of course, the two men who carried out the attack on the editorial team at the Charlie Hebdo magazine 2 years ago.
Yes, of course, and all this controversy coming as France is marking that second anniversary and has been all weekend. The Kouachi brothers, of course, were killed on this exact day 2 years ago. And the man who has admitted radicalising them, Farid Benyettou, far from lying low, has been giving a great many interviews, admitting to Le Parisien last week that he shared a part of the responsibility for that attack, even if it wasn't him that carried out the massacre. Now, he's been talking because he's publicising his new book, as this Twitter user says, to celebrate the 2 years, sarcastically obviously, since the attack on Charlie Hebdo. Farid Benyettou and Dounia Bouzard, who is a well-known anthropologist here in France, put out their book, My Jihad, The Journey of a Reformed Character, or you might call it a path of a repentant. And it has been mocked widely by those who aren't just angry, some who've been able to see the humour, and as you might expect, Charlie Hebdo among them. This cartoon talks about the fact that the mentor of the Kouachi brothers has been employed as an advisor on de-radicalisation. Next, we'll have Abdeslam as a security guard at the Bataclan nightclub, which, of course, is very black humour, but what you might expect from Charlie Hebdo. This cartoon, too, has him waiting to sign copies of his book, sitting outside the former offices of Charlie Hebdo, where, of course, the carnage took place. It really is quite incredible, and it's made all the more incredible by the fact that this man actually appeared on prime time television on Saturday night, Salut les Terriens. It's a very well-known programme, very popular programme here in France. And this photograph shows his reaction. At the end of the interview, he was asked, "Are you Charlie?" Because, of course, we had the hashtag Je suis Charlie, which was everywhere for such a long time. And from the depths of his pocket, he produced this very grubby-looking badge saying Je suis Charlie and said, "Yes, I am Charlie." And he sounded quite choked and emotional at the time. The presenter then very abruptly ended the programme in what can only be described as bizarre fashion. And unsurprisingly, people are upset about this. The French Association for Victims of Terrorism has complained about the fact that they are trying to profit, or he in particular is trying to profit from the tragedy, and has criticised in particular the fact that these appearances have been taking place during a weekend of remembrance and commemoration. There have also been two politicians who have contacted the French Broadcasting Authority to say that this is simply not acceptable. Jean-Charles Brizin, a terrorism expert, has said that this sequence of book promotion and rehabilitation is shockingly inappropriate and indecent, something a lot of people on social media seem to agree with.
It is a remarkable story. The other subject that's got people talking right now, of course, is the Golden Globes and, one particular acceptance speech.
Yes, indeed. Meryl Streep has given what many people seem to think is one of her greatest performances on the stage at the Golden Globes when she received a Lifetime Achievement Award of sorts, really. No long list of thank yous, no teary tributes. This was political. She did the whole thing without ever mentioning the name of the president-elect. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
But there was one performance this year that stunned me. It sank its hooks in my heart. It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter. And this instinct to humiliate, when it's modeled by someone in the public platform, by someone powerful, it filters down into everybody's life because it kind of gives permission for other people to do the same thing.
What did other people watching make of this speech?
Well, fairly unsurprisingly, one person who wasn't too happy was none other than Donald Trump. And as usual, he took to Twitter to voice his anger and distaste. Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, he says, doesn't know me but attacked me last night at the Golden Globes. She is and he went on to say, Hillary flunky who lost big. For the 100th time, he goes on to say, "I never mocked a disabled reporter." Now, for those of you who don't remember the incident, which happened back in 2015 on the campaign trail, he was at a rally in South Carolina talking about New York Times journalist Serge Kowaleski. That is him on the right-hand side of this shot, very visibly disabled, physically disabled, and you can see what Donald Trump was doing as he talked about what this man had said to him. Now, he has repeatedly denied, as he did in that last tweet, that he was mocking this reporter. Washington Post, however, has written this. Callum Borchers says Meryl Streep was right. Donald Trump did mock a disabled reporter. He says, "As I've written before, Trump's defence simply isn't believable, not least because this was a man who had reported on Trump for years before he became a candidate, and the pair were on first-name terms." Now, taking a look around, there is a lot of divided opinion, basically, fundamentally, depending on whether or not you support Trump. Seth Abramovich says, "Meryl did something insanely courageous tonight. She put her entire legacy award moment aside to speak her conscience. She will be attacked." And she was. But I think possibly the funniest response to this comes from Donald J. Trump, which is a spoof account. "Meryl Streep is just jealous because my performance as that disabled reporter was better acting than she has done in 10 years.
Emma James, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with our Media Watch.